Good morning, Flosstube. Pam, stitching between the lines. Today is Monday, November 9th, 2020. Video number 86. Sorry, I had to close the window. It's just a beautiful, this is November, mid-November in Western New York is never, well, it's 66 degrees right now at 11:30 in the morning, and it'll be into the 70s today. So it's an Indian summer, and we're loving every minute of it. I had the window open, and then some yard work people came to next door, and I hear their voices. So they're outside the window. I had to shut the window. I figured if I could hear them, they could hear me. So anyway, the sun is coming from over there this way, shining this way. So I feel a little bit in the shadows. I don't know, whatever. If we wait for the perfect day, it might never come. Sunshine in mid-November. Anyway, but I lost. Oh, there's a ceiling fan on. I don't know if it makes shadows. Anyway, I've been some amount busy with stitching. It's just everybody knows, even in the age of COVID, it's a busy time of year. Cooper is wandering around my feet. He doesn't usually make an appearance, so I don't know what lured him. Anyway, I changed the quilt on the wall in my sewing space over the ironing board. That is a buttermilk basin quilt called Bringing Home the Tree. It was I got it as a kit a few years ago. I think actually as a block of the month, and probably from Shabby Fabrics. That's the most likely place, but don't hold me to it. I'm sure it's not available anymore. The pattern is liable to be available, but not the kit. And the choice, you could get the fabric in all cottons or a mix of cotton and wool, where you did applique on the wool pieces instead of just the regular cotton pieces. I opted for the cotton. Number one, it was a lot less expensive, and I love the look of the appliqued wool. It's just tedious work, especially when there's as much of it as there are in some of these, like all of those red stripes are appliqued onto the white, which would have been appliqued onto the background, and that kind of thing. And I really like to do applique on my sewing machine, and it doesn't always look as nice with wool. So instead of spending all that money and having it not look quite as nice, it's a lovely quilt, so why spend $100 more or whatever. So anyway, it was a kit, and it came with the appropriate things to do raw edge applique with the fusible, and that's what I do. I do a buttonhole stitch on my machine with matching color. So it's a lot of each block you do. There's a lot of color changes on the sewing machine, but I just like the look. I tried to do something else applique where I use the same color throughout. I didn't like it. I ended up taking parts out. So anyway, that quilt will hang there for a while. What else? Halloween has come and gone. Of course, we didn't get trick-or-treaters. We haven't had trick-or-treat. This is our first year here, but we're down on a private road, and maybe there's 4 families out of the 12 houses along here that have residents in them right now, and people aren't coming down here just willy-nilly if they're out trick-or-treating, because you'd have to drive all the way down here and then maybe find one house with people in it. So anyway, so Halloween's quiet. We didn't get trick-or-treaters at our last house, so we've been a lot of years, but I still decorate. I don't decorate quite like I used to when the kids were younger. But I still have a lot of stitching and whatnot that I get out, but I put everything away. What I do is I decorate everything fall, and then I take away the Halloween, and I have some very specific Thanksgiving things that I put out, but very, very few. So it's a diminished look to what it was, but a little subtler, a little calmer. But as I was looking around, did I miss anything? I saw that I missed this guy. This is a With Thy Needle and Thread Brenda Gervais pattern that I stitched a few years ago, and I don't know the name of it. I'm sure if you looked on her website you'd find it, but she shows it finished just like this. And this is kind of a neat finish. She has more than one, I think, that finish like this. And the way that I did it is I took my piece with the stitching on it, and I appliqued on these semicircles. and then I sewed it into a pillow using the same fabric as the semicircle. So it's not at all complicated. You can even see where, things don't match exactly. I'm not sure if they matched exactly in her. It's primitive, right? So it's not supposed to. But it's a great kind of cheater way to make it look like you've got these like wool pennies on the edge. See, you can see the seam up there. That's cool. It was a cool finish. I liked it. I like doing it. I haven't done it on a single thing since then. I don't know. Sometimes I need the inspiration, but isn't that cute? I love that little pumpkin he's holding, that cat. I mean, that is just his little feet. Come on. That's the cutest thing. So anyway, I saved that out to show you after I discovered I missed it when putting away Halloween things. What have I done? When I was here last, I had done a couple weeks on the pumpkins, and I was going to spend the rest of the week finishing up like odds and ends, little things, finishing up, starting, all kinds of willy-nilly. I'm looking for them in order, I guess. I don't think I showed you this. I don't think I had started it. Oops, pulled some thread out with it. I had this pulled out, finally kitted it up, stitched it up real quick. Lizzie Kate's Celebrate. I guess the series is called Celebrate with Charms, and this one is called Thanks. F169 is its number, and 123 Stitch is who has the license to sell the Lizzie Kate's. And it came out really cute. I can't even remember where I bought that. I have no recollection. There's a needle still in it. So it's stitched up quick. There's something about a pie. I always like a pie in anything. So I don't know what I'm doing with that one. It's out in a project bag still. Waiting for inspiration. Maybe it'll be done by Thanksgiving. I'm thinking it might be done similar to what I'm about to show you. Get that out of the way. I've worked away on October's Shannon Christine designed Ornament Club pieces. Probably you've seen a few times. She came out with a monthly ornament series. Let's see, it started in August, September, October, November, December. So there's 5 months, 2 ornaments each. And on the Facebook page, if you're a member, there's a freebie each month. And I've been stitching them. I'm trying as hard as I can to keep up. I think I had a couple days to go on the October freebie, and the November one came out. This was the October freebie. I have started the finishing process. How are we going to best combat that light? Warm wishes. I'm just using whatever random red beads I have. These I think probably came from Joann's. I had a big bag of them. Joy, Peace, Love is one of the ornaments from the Ornament Club part. Once these are released, the Ornament Club pieces are coming out to the public, so you see them on various websites for sale. And I'm doing them on a couple different fabric flares. This one's like the candy cane striped. And then this is how I plan to finish them. They're kind of big for me. They're kind of big, even in their whatever size to be a tree ornament. I am going to do this finish on all of them. It's not necessarily the same fabric, because here's one of the early ones, different plaid. I'm trying to pick the plaids that just enhance the actual piece. And this brown is one of my favorites, and I only had enough to do 2 ornaments. I've only done 1 of the 2. So anyway, my plan is, new house, new ideas, new possibilities, is we have a stair railing that goes up to the second floor, up to the loft in this house, and a banister. And I plan to hang a swag of greens up there and then hang these all on them. We'll see. I have the swags. I haven't hung them yet. We'll see. I put on the back, I lace, I glue on the ruffle, I glued on some felt, I guess. I don't think, it's not wool felt, I don't think. It came from once upon a time on Vanna's blog, she had a list. She could still be there. I don't know, of where she buys her felt, and I don't know that it's wool felt. I bought a couple different bundles. Oh, look, I'm going to be able to tell you. They come like this at Prairie Point Junction. No idea if this still exists. Prairie Point Junction. This is, it does say wool bundle. This is was bundle Santa Baby, and it was $14. Let's see if I can read it. www.prairiepointjunction.com or woolfeltcentral.com. I'll Google this and look it up, and if there's still a link, I will let you know. I have 3 bundles of it. This one, clearly I'm not wanting to disrupt yet. I have the other one disrupted, but what what I don't like about this is that it's not a very smooth finish, and it's not all a function of my failure to not make it smooth, but it's laced and a ruffle on top, and so it's not a smooth back. I may try something different. Like, here's what it looks like. I may try tracing, see, more than just a guillotine cutter can do, because they have rounded edges. These are forms. I bought forms. I might trace the shape onto a thinner cardboard type thing, and maybe put either the felt on that, the wool felt, or maybe just some scrapbook paper that matches, and see if that doesn't give me a smoother looking back. I'm not selling them. I'm not giving them away if the backs look a little cruddy or less than my... It's fine. It's fine. They're cute. Okay, so I gotta make sure I look this up. I also worked on, this has been in the works for a long time. I remember I had it in Florida and I started it down there eons ago, brought it home at some point, I can't even remember when. I finished it yesterday. You know, gotta love some Mill Hill Jim Shore combination. Christmas cheer Santa, a cute one. Backed this one with a piece of batting. I was going to use some kind of felt, I usually do, and the piece of batting was hanging out around here, and I used it. And he's kind of cute. I always use the leftover beads to make a hanger. So there he is, done and done. And this one. Okay, this one I definitely started, I believe, without making mention. This is a Plum Street sampler freebie, Happy Haunting. Don't know when I got it, except that the piece, as you can see, is dated 2012. I downloaded it. It laid around on a sewing surface for years as I contemplated my options. I stitched it on a piece of Harvest Gold by Color and Cotton. I got this fabric in when I did Color and Cotton's Fabric of the Month. I mostly used called for threads. I don't think I had what it called for their clothes. Called for Raven. I tried Blackbird, didn't care for that. I ended up using Black Crow. And then it's not a totally finished object. I had some Lady Dot Creates polka dot trim out of, I bought a bunch of these sets of Lady Dot Creates finishing packages from the Silver Needle. This one is called Spooky. I think the black actually came out of a different one, but there's also black in here. I haven't put anything on the back yet. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I have some fabric laying around here that I may do a ruffle out of, or may do stretch it onto a bigger piece of But since I don't know what I'm going to do with it, I haven't quite reached a conclusion. I actually thought I had some black ticking. I can't find it in my cupboard of fabric. Doesn't mean it's not there. Doesn't mean it's not with another project. I can't think that I pulled it out, but if ticking comes in a color, most generally I have it, so I'll keep looking. That would be as an alternative to this, but I'm kind of liking this. More of a creamy, it's not even creamy, off-white, ecru and black sort of. I don't know. I also have tons of homespun that I've been pawing through lately to do the other ornaments, but I don't recall one that's sort of black enough to do this, but you never know. We'll see. And then last, for stitching, my focus project, which ended up being actually for 2 weeks. I'm trying to do only a week, but lately these much bigger, larger pieces, I've been doing 2 weeks, because once you get it all out and get yourself all situated and figure out how the pattern works and where your threads and how you organize things, this is an enormous pattern in terms of pattern. Like, so I went and had it copied, and then I cut them apart and labeled all the page numbers, and so there's a lot of flipping. Everything's in page protectors, and a lot of flipping and messing. Prior to making it part of my mania, I mostly had this book and this done. There were a few, pretty much, let's go with that. This and this were done. And then in Mania, I think I mostly got the brown outline of this book, not the Streetlight, but brown. So my Mania 2020 goal was to finish the book, the gate with the park or whatever behind it, and then the next book and light. I managed to get the light done, and I did the gate first because that's stitched in 3-ply, and what's behind it is stitched in 1-ply. I had maybe half of that done after the first week, and I really just didn't want to quit. Not because I just loved the whole process, but it takes a long time to get yourself reoriented. So I just thought it made the most sense to keep going, and it wasn't like I was hating it or anything. So here it is. It's coming, it's working out well. This is a little bit of the book next, because I had, as I was winding down with shades of color, I just kind of kept going a little bit. So there's the slightest little bit of in there done. I'm doing it on the kit Ada. It's a kit I ordered from Russia. It was the first time I ever ordered, and it's fine. It's no different than most kits, really. The thread's well organized, I will say that. I have 3 what do you call it? They're cardboard, and all the thread is across them. They came that way, pre-sorted on these things, and there's 2 of them are the colors, and the third one is a duplicate of the things that you need so much color of. So it's pretty easy to organize and get control of. And like I said, the pattern is big. The pattern's in color, so that's, you know how patterns with color offer their own challenges to the equation. But anyway, I am happy with the progress. I would like now, as I get it out, to do maybe a book each time I pull it out. I feel like the worst is done. Knock on wood, and we're not even talking about what this background stitching will be like. These books are the largest, I believe, of the books yet to come. So we'll see. Hopefully, if this proves to be more labor intensive than I think, then maybe I won't get a whole book done, or maybe I'll get one done and get to start on the next one. I don't know. Just depends. Not all weeks are created equal, right? I did a tiny bit of purchasing. Not really, sometimes it's just, you can't help it. I was watching Helen D, who showed this. I stopped the video and went to buy it. There's a series. Homespun Elegance has a number of trucks. I'm trying to get just right with the glare. I don't really want to open it. But when I saw this, like I said, stop the video. Went and bought it. And on one of the Facebook pages, somebody had made this, just the snowman in the tree, to be an ornament. And I thought that was the cutest thing, just taking the element out of that pattern. Not that the whole thing isn't really cute, because I really like the penny, I don't know what you call them, things around the edge. And hello, hot cocoa, snowman, the whole thing. I really won't be doing it on that color fabric. I don't like that even the tiniest bit. Don't like it at all. But love that. I have quite a collection of Brenda Gervais with the needle through whatever that I should be stitching on. But, I got 14 things in the works. And then we're going back to our roots for half a minute here, or a minute or two, because this isn't going to be a very long video. The name of my channel, Stitching Between the Lines, when I started my blog a million years ago, more than 10 years ago, and you have to come up with a name, and it can't be a name that somebody else already has. Sorry, I keep moving into that ray of sunshine. I originally had hoped to, do a little bit of talking about books. So that's where the Between the Lines comes from. In the blogs, I think people came for the stitching, and the reading never caught on, and sometimes talking about a book you read and trying to make it a clear and concise thought is too much like English class, which I didn't like. So anyway, I'm an avid reader. I read. My goal is always, it's been for the last number of years, 50 books a year. This year I made it 52, and that is not going to be hard. I keep a running, I'm very good about keeping a running list on the Goodreads app of what I want to read, what I've read, and that kind of thing. So I can always go to that list when I'm looking, especially when the libraries were closed and we had to do our books like either ebooks, or when the library started to open up and maybe have only curbside pickup, I could just go to that list and then browse their catalog and see what I could get. And then I have favorite authors who I always, Goodreads is good about sending an email and saying, here's authors, new books coming by authors that you have read. So I'm able to keep up that way. There's no shortage of books to read. So anyway, Ellen Hildebrand is one of my favorite authors. Discovered her maybe only 5 years ago, maybe a little longer ago than that, maybe a little longer. So I always, she's one of the sections in the shelf I always check in the library to see what there is. She has this many books, this being her newest. So anyway, I have to date only not read 3 of her books. One of them, the most recent one that came out before 28 Summers was What Happens in Paradise, which was the 3rd book in a series. And I wasn't really loving the series. That series and the Winter Stroll series I didn't really love. That one I think had 4 books. Sometimes her books try to appeal to too many audiences, and that's what I feel is the case with let me see if I can find what started. The What Happened in Paradise, Winter in Paradise, and I don't know what the first one was. I'm not really that unprepared. But anyway, the Winter Stroll one was the same kind of idea, which just sort of tried to appeal to too many audiences. But I just finished The Blue Bistro, which was 1, 2, 3, 4, which is her 4th book. And then I thought, I didn't really like it. And I thought, and here I have this one on my checked out. It's not that I didn't like it. It was just maybe I was tired of the characters. I think what it was it was so early in her writing. The style, her characters, I was bored through most of the book. So I started this one thinking I would plow my way through it and it would take a couple weeks. Well, no, I just started it last Thursday night and tonight's Monday. Today's Monday, this morning. This is going hands down going to be my favorite book of hers. I also really liked Beautiful Day. That was a really good one. The Matchmaker was good. and I have another one in a paperback version. That's one of the ones I haven't read. I know the library has What Happens in Paradise. Hopefully I'm right about that one being the final one of that series. Didn't love it. Don't love it. Wasn't thinking I was going to read it, but if I've come this far, maybe I will. They're not very thick books, those in particular. They take place on Nantucket, all of them. So it's just fun after a while. Anyway, that's my book recommendation. 28 Summers, which is like a modern takeoff on Same Time Next Year. So that gives you a little hint. If you know that old movie with Alan Alda and I don't know who else. Yeah, all right. So there we go. We're not even half an hour this morning. The sun has gotten a little, it's come to the point where it's peeking through the window up there, and it's kind of making it hard to keep a video going. I'm not sure what this week's big commitment will be. Sometimes I think I know what it'll be, and then what I pull out and what I really feel like doing are two different things. I still have the ornaments to keep up with, the Shannon Christine ornaments. Those are good for if it's a busy day or I'm tired. I can just sit down and stitch on it for a little bit. So I don't know that I'm going to push myself. It's only the 9th of November to get those done fast and quick. Anyway, so here we are. November 9th. Isn't that something? And well, with the sun and this year. My son's birthday's next week. He'll be 28. Blows my mind. He's not the oldest either. So I don't know. I don't know why his age always shocks me the most. It always does, though. I don't know what that's all about. Thanksgiving. It's time to start thinking about Thanksgiving. Usually I'm better and have it a lot more mapped out, and I've started to gather supplies and stuff, and now I'm starting to get nervous. I don't know, for no good reason. It's not like we're gonna starve. I plan to do a turkey out of Pioneer Woman's cookbook. She brines the turkey, but it has to be a fresh turkey. I might try that. We'll see. It's based on me being able to find a fresh turkey. I didn't order one when I should have. And, last year we ordered one from the butcher here in town and I wasn't impressed. So I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. I hope everybody's safe and sound and stitching away. And if the weather's bad, you have your stitching. And if the weather's nice, there's probably always leaves to rake. We spent the whole weekend doing that kind of nonsense. So I'm done now. All right. Till next time. Bye.